Let's start with Phil Foden, shall we? He has faced some criticism for his performance in an England shirt. Is that really warranted?
Well, yeah, that criticism really reached a peak in the Euros, I think, when he started every game for England. 0 goals, 0 assists from that campaign for him. And I think the frustration for England fans watching Phil Foden in an England shirt is he doesn't seem to produce his Man City form for his national team. So for City, across his City career, he averages a goal every 3 games. He averages assists about once every 5 games. But we can see his figures for England here. So from 41 games played, he scored 4 goals and got 8 assists. So his goals tally is more like 1 in 10 rather than that 1 in 3 that we see for Man City.
So does that mean now Cole Palmer guaranteed to fill that number 10 position?
Well, he's certainly the man in form, isn't he, Rob? And actually, if you go back across the last season, since the start of last season, and compare Phil Foden with Cole Palmer. Now, Phil Foden, of course, swept the awards last year, didn't he? PFA Player of the Year, Football Writers Player of the Year. But if we look at these figures, goals, Cole Palmer, he's got 9 more than Phil Foden. Assists, he's got double the amount of Phil Foden in that time. Look at the big chances created, way more than Phil Foden across that period. And if you look at minutes played, they've played a similar amount. Cole Palmer just slightly more, and obviously more so far this season. He's certainly the man in form, and I'd be very surprised if he's not England's number 10 against Finland on Wednesday night.
Because I guess sort of Jude Bellingham could come into that position as well. So who is England's number 10 in your opinion then, both of you?
Well, I think it's got to be Cole Palmer at the moment. I mean, Jude Bellingham, there's a very good case for him after what he did at Real Madrid last year, but that was more as a sort of false 9. This year at Real Madrid, he's played much deeper. I think that really strengthens England's midfield, although with the emergence of Mainu and Adam Wharton, perhaps that's not as needed as it was 12 months ago. But the man of the moment is Cole Palmer, as you say. You know, more goals and assists than anyone since the start of last season. 11 already this year. That's more than anyone else in the Premier League in terms of goals and assists. His shots on target have leaped up this year. His shots are up. His percentage of shots on target is improved by 9%. He's just playing with so much freedom and confidence at the moment, and feels like he's just taking life every step so easily, and feels like England will be the next step because he was injured, of course, for Carsley's last games in September. So he'll be hoping to really establish himself in the shirt this time round.
OK, so Foden not number 10 then. Palmer maybe with Bellingham deeper. Saka, you would think, would be on the right. So surely he'll play on the left then, will he?
Well, maybe
or not.
That's where he played in the summer, Rob, at the Euros, of course, coming in from that left side. But in England's last game against Finland at Wembley, I was there, and Anthony Gordon, excellent there. And afterwards, it was really interesting because, of course, Harry Kane scored 2 goals in that game, his 100th cap. And Lee Carsley was asked in the press conference, how long can Harry Kane keep performing at his top level, keep scoring at international level? And Carsley's answer was interesting because he said what Kane needs is players running beyond him. He needs pace, running beyond, stretching the defences so he can drop into pockets and operate there. So obviously you've got Saka doing that on the right. And Anthony Gordon really does that on the left side for England. And actually we can see, again, since the start of last season in the Premier League, the different skill set that Gordon brings, the different attributes he brings to the game to Foden. In terms of goals and assists, those goal involvements, he's pretty comparable to Foden. Foden's obviously got the edge in the goals. Gordon's got the assist edge there. But let's look at fast breaks, take-on attempts. These sort of metrics which show how Gordon drives with his running, with his directness. He ranks in the top 10 in the Premier League for these stats. And sprints, that's number 1. He's produced more sprints than any other player in the Premier League since the start of last season, and as you can see, way more than Phil Foden. That's not to say that what Phil Foden does isn't brilliant, because we know he's a fantastic player, but he's a very different type of player to Gordon. And it seems at the moment, Lee Carsley, interim England manager, likes the type of player that Anthony Gordon is, stretching the play for his main man, Harry Kane.
OK, so I'm confused then, because Phil Foden was the Premier League player of last season. You're not rubbish if you get that award, are you? So he's a very gifted player. Is it England not getting the best out of him, or what is it? Where does this all leave Phil Foden?
I think at the moment it leaves him with probably a spot on the bench. And I don't think that's a disaster. But yeah, you're perfectly right to point out how impressive he was last year. 27 goals and assists in the league, deserved winner of the PFA Player of the Year award. I don't think Man City win a league title against a really improved Arsenal side last year without him in that sort of form. You know, he scored a brace on the final day against West Ham. He scored hat-tricks against Aston Villa and Brentford. He also grabbed 2 goals against Brighton and a crucial win there. He scored 3 goals against Man United across the season. He really was the sort of linchpin of a City side with Erling Haaland not hitting the heights he had the year before. Foden was absolutely crucial to it. But at the moment, he came back from the Euros late. He missed a couple of City games and England games with illness, and he's slowly building into the season. But he played 78 minutes against Fulham at the weekend. He played 78 minutes against Slovan Bratislava the week before, and he's just finding his form and fitness. But at the moment, it has to be Cole Palmer. He is the man at the moment that has to start for England going forward for this break and potentially beyond.